Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to give you all the updates that you need to know about ChatGPT-5. I'm not someone to keep doing videos about updates because they're just too many. You can't keep up. And until you've actually used the updates, you really don't know if they're any good or not, or what to even say about them. So the reason I'm giving you an update for ChatGPT-5 is because it's become now the default ChatGPT. Everyone is just using 5. All the other versions I've gotten rid of. ChatGPT-4o, which was the main latest version, is now a legacy model. It doesn't really affect anything you're doing. It's just going to work better for you. So here's a quick overview on how you can use ChatGPT-5 in your business and what you need to know about all the different features. I'll start by giving you a little bit of an overview of ChatGPT-5, and then we'll go into ChatGPT-5 and I'll share my screen and I'll show you a few features that you need to keep an eye on as you continue to work in ChatGPT for your content. So in the overview, the first thing you need to know is it's a much better writer. So in general, it's going to write a lot better. Also, it's not going to necessarily constantly keep agreeing with you. It should give you more neutral responses when you ask it for opinions. This is a good thing because at the end of the day, we don't want ChatGPT to be a yes person and just says yes to every idea we have, even though it may be quite bad. So this is really good. So it has better writing. It thinks more and it works faster. You can actually choose how much you want it to think. I will show you that when we go into the demo. The memory of ChatGPT-5 has been enhanced. So if that's a feature you are using, it should have more of a limit and work better. I personally don't use memory because it mixes too much up for me. However, if you are, especially if you're only using ChatGPT mainly for your business, it's a good thing to have on. But if you use it for multiple things, I don't recommend keeping it on because it mixes all the content and you do have to manage your memory, which you can do in the settings. And I will show you that when I share my screen. The context window of ChatGPT has increased a lot, which basically means that it can retain a lot more of your conversation without forgetting it or without going off track. So if it could do that for 30,000 words of content, now it can do it for 60,000 words of content. I don't know exactly how much content, but the context window of how much information you can give it and how much it can process has increased phenomenally. So if you were uploading big documents, maybe you see that it doesn't really understand everything and it doesn't really read the document thoroughly, maybe because it was 300 pages. Now it should be able to do that. ChatGPT-5 is much faster, and also great news is that it hallucinates a lot less. It still hallucinates, but it shouldn't hallucinate as much as it used to. Just a reminder what hallucinations are. When ChatGPT hallucinates, it basically doesn't have enough data to give you the response you're seeking, so it ends up making it up. We need to keep a sharp eye on this because, of course, we don't want to share made up information, and we also want to ensure that any content we're sharing that we're using ChatGPT-5 to create is accurate and not just story. So that's good to know that it is hallucinating a lot less. And one of the biggest updates that ChatGPT-5 has is its coding ability. So if you are looking to build something in ChatGPT, you can now do that better than you could before. So you can actually get it to generate code for you that then you can go and paste into any tool to build something. This is not straightforward yet. It is still a bit cumbersome to do. However, the good thing to know is that ChatGPT-5 is getting into this space. So again, less reason to move tools when you're ready to build something of your own. So again, the reason I've been giving this update is that ChatGPT-5 is now the default ChatGPT that everyone is using. So it's good to know these features so that you can maximize how you're using it. It doesn't affect anything else, but you just don't have access to the other models. But none of your content, none of your threads, none of your chats, none of your GPTs, your projects, none of them should change in any way. In fact, they should start performing better. Now, let me share my screen and let me take you through some of the features. So here's my screen, and what you see is ChatGPT-5. You will see that there is actually no other model. I actually think this is a really good thing because there were so many other models. I never knew which one to use to be able to maximize and optimize the task I'm doing. Now, the fact that there's just one model actually makes it easier. So I've just got it on auto so that it can decide, depending on the complexity of task, whether it thinks short or long. If you don't want it to spend too much time thinking because you need quick results, then you can check this. And if you really want it to spend some time thinking, doing deeper research, to give you the answer or to help you in a certain task, you can check that. You'll see the legacy model is just 4.0, but this will soon be discontinued. Now, if you go into this plus sign, you will see you can add photos and files. That's not new. Agent mode is out. Basically, now ChatGPT can act as an agent. This is still an experiment. Agent mode basically means is that you ask it to do something and it goes off and does it without your intervention. You are not necessarily getting involved in the process of what it's doing. That's the difference between an automation and an agent. An automation is when you specify the tasks exactly how you want ChatGPT to do something, whereas an agent, you just tell it what you want done and it goes off and does it. I've been playing around with agent mode. I'm not really seeing how best to use it yet, but when I do know, I will share that with you. Deep research, if you haven't used it already, I highly recommend you use it. This is not a ChatGPT-5 feature. This was there before, but I'm just going over it just in case you haven't seen it yet. It is really, really thorough in its research. So it goes deep, so whether you want competitor analysis, market analysis, keyword analysis, any analysis that you want, it goes really, really deep and it cites all the sources as well. Now, ChatGPT-5, it could always create images, but now the image quality is much better. You can connect apps. So I'll just click on here and you can actually see, you can actually connect your Gmail, your Google Calendar, your Google Contacts. I've not played with this yet, but I will, but this is what you can do. And then they've got some beta versions of Dropbox, Canva, you can connect also other tools that they're still testing like Canva, Dropbox. I'm still playing with these. When I have an update, I will share them with you because this will really take it to the next level of automation. Another new feature is you can go to more and you can, web search was always there. You can do to Canvas. Canvas is where you can code, but also Canvas is where you can work in two screens. This was always there before, but now it is even more advanced. So for example, if you want to say, write me a pitch deck for my upcoming event, like a really simple example, I just want to show you what it does. What it does is it goes straight into a document, and then you can actually work in this document rather than going back and forth, copy pasting. You'll just edit and you can edit here. So this stops you from having to copy paste things when you're working on something. If you haven't, you can copy it all into a Word document and you can download as PDF, Word, or a designed document. I'm not quite sure what that extension is, but you can do it. It's impossible to know absolutely everything, but here's an overview. You just have to play with the tools. If something piques your curiosity, just go and try it out. That would be my advice to you. Now, GPTs, I hope you've created your GPTs. If you haven't, this stays the same. Nothing has changed. All you'll see is here is it may say 4, but it is 5. You'll see it's all 5 and the legacy model is 4. So nothing really has changed. This should all be the same and your GPTs should actually perform better. Another feature that came out before ChatGPT-5, but it is getting better and better, is projects. So if you're working on something that is short term, like a proposal you need to deliver in 3 weeks, or a campaign that you're running that's just a one-off campaign, let's say for Christmas, you could just open a project. So let's say Christmas project, and then you can create project. And everything you do for this Christmas project will stay here. Basically, build the project in this project, and you can add files, you can add instructions, and that way all your threads related to this project, your chats will stay in one place. It's just a way to organize your conversations better, and you can upload stuff that it can refer to as well. And what you would do is when you finish the project, you would get rid of it. That's the main difference between projects and GPTs. GPTs, I feel, are much better for long-term things like your social media captions, writing your emails, writing in your style, your podcast, things that are long-term, because you need to spend some time building a GPT. So they're very good for repetitive tasks that you need to do long-term. Whereas a project works similar to a GPT because you can add instructions and you can add files and they will always refer to the instructions and the files. However, it's more like you're working on something that's temporary. I think the training that you can do for a project is less than what you can do for a GPT. So use GPTs for long-term projects. So that's everything you need to know for ChatGPT 5. I hope you found that useful and stay tuned for more updates.